Hey YouTube, been a while, and bring you up to speed on the GTI 2013 Volkswagen GTI. If you remember right, picked this up at salvage and rebuilt the motor and went through, tuned everything up, and just put the Cobb tune on it about 2 weeks ago. Nothing extreme. Since we did bore over the pistons and it's got bigger pistons, I went ahead and did the stage 2 Cobb tune, and it runs a heck of a lot better than just that regular off the shelf, 89 octane or whatever it is. So anyway, here she is. I did go back and redo the hood as far as the paint job. Nothing fancy, just some gloss black and some pearl over it. And I am not a painter, as you can see. But I think maybe some rubbing compound or maybe polishing or something like that will get that out. But it's darn near, it matches pretty close to what the original paint is. Now I did not fix the side skirts, and I still got to go back and figure out how to fix these clips here. There's some other videos on YouTube how to do that. But and then I did not paint the bumper. No sense in spending a lot of money on a car. I'm just trying to drive a little while and maybe see if somebody might want to buy it. Anyway, I charged up the air conditioner, and I do have the correct tools to do that. R134, and I put the correct pound of that. And then also when the air compressor was out, the air conditioning compressor was out, I did make sure that there's sufficient oil in there. So it calls for, here it is right there, R134A. About a half a kill, and just about 2 teaspoons-ish, I guess, or maybe, what do you call that, about 0.05 ounce of oil. And so anyway, yeah, it hasn't overheated at all. I've really got out there and romped on this little car just to see if I could break anything, and no. It actually runs really good. It still sounds like a diesel. It's got the direct injection and everything. Battery's holding the charge. I did change out the air filter. When I rebuilt it and I got the, just the stock, I think it's made by Man. That sucker is like 4 inches deep. And so what I did was I found I guess a high flow one. It's just a no name, but it's about this thick, and it's a foam filter, and it's in there now. And it actually has a lot to do with the throttle response. Even though these take a long time to spool up, with the turbo and everything like that, I could tell a difference when I changed out that air filter. So, and that probably has to do with the tune I'm running. Now, this isn't been up on the dyno or anything like that. This is just an off-the-shelf tune. And then, of course, as you drive, it learns your shift patterns. It adjusts your, it adapts to you. So it is a pretty neat little car. Let's see. Aside from the salvage title, the only code that comes up on this is when you turn on all of the lights. I'm talking fog lights, high beam. There's something over here. It says right front headlight bulb. It's that little warning. Now, a lot of people are telling me that it is that right there. But I pulled that out, I reconnected it, I put some bulb grease on it. I've tried everything, and for some reason, it's still giving me that little code. So it's nothing that's affecting the drivability. All the lights do work. Matter of fact, those do come on. They're actually yellow, believe it or not. And, for whatever reason, got that warning light. And, check right front bulb. And it's not the bumper clearance light. So I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, that's the thing. And then I couldn't get the curb rash off of the wheels, obviously. So it's got some dings and some bashes and stuff like that. But we're sitting at 152,000 miles with a brand new engine, a freshened up turbo, all new seals and gaskets, hoses inspected and replaced where needed, and all of the little stuff like, your EGR, map sensor, O2 sensors, all that kind of stuff's been replaced in this car. So it's back to about as new as it can be. And then if you remember right on one of the videos, I think we replaced the entire shroud that holds the air conditioner and the radiator in there. Nothing else fancy. It didn't even put the little tow hooks on here like I usually do, like on that little Mini. I put those little tow hook things in the, pop those out, drill a hole, and then make it, you know, race car. Anyway, yeah, I didn't do that. I have, let's see, it's on its third oil change with just regular old dyno oil. So probably in about another couple of weeks, I need to put the liquid moly that I use. And I'll also change the filter one more time. And I've got, actually, I bought several filters. There it is right there, STP. Or I can use this one. But anyway, so I do need to put the good moly synthetic in there. It is synthetic oil that's in there, but it's braking oil. So we've done the first change, second change. I think I'm waiting on 1,000 miles to be on this motor. No leaks, no drips, no drops, no nothing like that. It did, oh, let me back up. After I first rebuilt it, there is a gasket, and I know it's really hard to see, but the high pressure fuel pump diaphragm, I guess you'd call this right here, what I'm pointing at, that mounts on the side of the cylinder head, and it's driven by the cam, the exhaust cam. Well, that's what drives your fuel pump on that little thing. So it's kind of like the housing, and then your fuel pump sits up here, and then there's your fuel line going into your manifold, or your fuel row. Well, the gasket that goes in between that and the head, there's 2 of them that came with the rebuild kit that I bought, or the gasket kit. And I used the smaller, the less thickness one. And I kept on smelling oil, and I was like, I know it's not inside the engine. And I know it's not just residual oil burning off, because it's been, you know, several hundred miles. Well, I shined a flashlight pretty much right down in here, and I saw this puddle of oil, and it was fresh. And I was like, oh no. What happened? Is there a crack in that head or something? Well, come to find out, it was that gasket. So I took that back off and replaced that gasket with a thicker one, torqued that back down, not a drop. So little kinks, and that's why I like to, after I rebuild, I like to keep these around and drive them and, you know, get them broke in, number one, and then try to romp on them and see if I can break something. And if I can't, then yeah, it's going to last for a while. So, like I said, the original video, I really wanted one of these little cars, and I'll probably end up putting it up for sale, and if nobody wants to offer a decent amount, I'll go ahead and keep it. But, you know, the paint's turned out really nice. There is some spider webbing, you know, and some little rock chips like up here. Oh, I did replace on the windows, on the rear windows, they're held in with this expansion plug thing. So it's like a little grommet that goes into the bottom of the window, and then you put this plug in there and you press it, and it kind of swells up. Then that clips down into your, I guess your mechanism that calls the window go up and down. Well, anyway, when I first got the car, the windows wouldn't go down. So I rolled the windows down with the switch, and I went over here with my hand. I went shoot, and they just slid down. So they weren't connected at all to that mechanism. So pulled off the door panel, looked down in there. Sure enough, those little things were sitting down in the front of the doors, both this side and the driver's side. So I think those little plugs are like $6 a piece. And I went down to Volkswagen right here in town, popped that window out, stuck the plug in, clipped it on there. Now I've got operable windows. All 4 of the windows work. All of the lights, all of the gauges, everything works in there. One thing that did not work was I couldn't get that sucker to close, that fuel door. And no matter why, I was like, why? That's supposed to click close. Well, there was something up in there, a little plastic something. I don't know, a rock or something. But I was getting gas one day, and I stuck my finger up there. I was like, why won't that? And it fell down on the floor and rolled away. And I went, well, maybe that was it. So sure enough, it closes now. It's flush. It sits flush. And the neat thing with this is the anti-theft thing. When this car is locked, there's a little pin that kind of comes down from right here, goes in this hole, so it locks your fuel door, so nobody can siphon out your gas. And there's that big scratch down here, right above the muffler. It's got the standard stock exhaust, nothing, no replacements on that. All the catalytic converters work and pass smog with flying colors. I did go in and detail the entire You remember the very first video I think I shot on this was coated in like a dog hair, like somebody had a husky. Well, I went in here and I detailed all of that, got most of that hair out of there. There's, you know, I've been driving it around, so there's some stuff blown in here. But yeah, I got a majority of that stuff out. I need to vacuum it in here just one last time before I get it up, you know, put it up for sale and let somebody come look at it. Let's see, all the lights work, all the brakes work. The windshield wipers and everything. Need to detail up here, I guess. Remember all that hair? Well, it's gone. I used two things, and I'll show you the brush here in just a minute, but I also used like a lint roller, just a dollar store lint roller to get all that crap out of there. It does have all the tools. So there's your jack and your wheel lug lock. It's got the 50, 80 kph donut. There is a light bulb right here I had to replace. And a neat thing about these cars is they have a 12 volt socket right here. So you can run, you know, a 12 volt back here in the back. I don't know if you're at the beach or whatever, you can run a speaker, a little Bluetooth speaker, what have you. Little dent right there. Let's see. See it? I couldn't get that out. And there's also one where everybody gets them. Oh, come on, show it. There it is. See it right here. Every GTI I've ever seen in front of the door, I don't care if it's a 4-door, 2-door, it always has a little dent right there. I think that's a market success for these little cars. I couldn't shine this up. I put some WD-40 on it, but somebody wants to buy a new one of those. But I did get a replacement Volkswagen thing here. That was real fun getting in. And it's got all of the stickers that you're required to get DMV inspection. It's got the new heat blanket. And one of the neat things, come to find out, the reason there's not a lot of these little plugs in this to hold it up, and the reason all these blankets don't last, they're designed to, if you have a engine fire, engine compartment or a battery or something, something catches on fire, it's going to heat up, it's going to melt these little things, and this is an asbestos type heat resistant blanket. It falls off of the hood and smothers the engine compartment or assists it to keep the fire contained. So pretty neat little engineering tidbit there. Remember, I did have to replace this little strut and also the ones on the back of the door on the rear hatch to lift them up. Also had to replace this expansion tank because the indicator was bad, as they all go. You can't do not buy one of these expansion tanks at the junkyard. Just get them off of Amazon or get them from Volkswagen or ECS Tuning. But this tank right here, do not buy it, or don't go at the junkyard and try to take one apart. The reason for it is, I don't want to take it off, but right here, there's two little metal pins that go down in there. That is always going to leak and always going to break. And if it's not a good one, you're buying trash from the junkyard. Just go ahead and buy a brand new one, okay? Experience right there. All right, it does have the updated version, I believe it's J as in Julie, atmospheric blow-off valve on the turbo. They went through revision A, B, C, D and everything. I guess the best one has been C, D, and J, I believe. But anyway, it does have the good one, if you will. And I confirmed that. I got a bunch of pictures when I was rebuilding the car. I took a picture of all of that stuff. Let's see. I went ahead and kept the turbo, the old turbo and the old cylinder head. And there's the fuel pump thing. This is how this sits in there. So basically this right here, this is your fuel pump by my thumb. This sits right here, and see, that's your exhaust cam, and this turns that little thing, and then it kind of makes it pump in there. Well, anyway, the gas that goes between on this sealing surface and the head wasn't thick enough, so, or wasn't sealing right or whatever, I don't know, it was a crud one. And then I got that metal water pump that did not fit because I didn't have the extra adapter for the side. But yeah, it's all the fluids, all of the air conditioning, Freon has been filled. It blows cold. It takes quite a while to get cooled down because it's a black car. And of course, anything over about 90 degrees here in California or Arizona or whatever, it's going to crack a window, let it blow the cold in there, let it catch up to itself, and then you'll cool it down. Now on the highway, it ain't going to matter, but sitting around in traffic, oh man, phew. But let's see, what are the other things? There was, I need to adjust the headlight over there. I've got them, one's pointing like down like this, and then this one's, so I'll do that later on, probably tomorrow. But yeah, really cleaned up nice. I went ahead and I detailed everything, even all the little rubber. It's 10 years old, but it's still, all the lights in here work, all the dash gauges. It's kind of neat driving this because the dash is all red. It's like a Darth Vader car. And it doesn't have those rubber GTI mats. Those things are like $100 just for the front 2 compartments. So anyway, keep those, or maybe get some ones. They're just proof I got to take the Freon cans back over. Pure R134, no leak seal or none of that crap. 134A, okay? And they sell that at, oh geez, that's the standard California Freon can, R134. They have it at O'Reilly's, AutoZone. Even if you buy Napa to have it delivered, they're going to bring you that same thing. Has brand new brake pads, cleaned up the calipers. I actually went and bought some of these plastic things to cover the lug nuts, but the one that goes over the lock doesn't fit, so left it alone. All new brake fluid, bled appropriately. Brake and line inspection passed with flying colors at the mechanic where you have to go to get the, like I showed in I think video number 3 or something like that on this playlist. I'll get in there and I'll polish the tips on the exhaust, and then I'll go out and do some additional blackout stuff. I got some of that BRP to put on here. Some of the black areas, and then this valance pan back here. And that is where she sits. So she is ready to go. I'll probably throw it up on Facebook Marketplace and see what they're going for. There is a neat one if anybody's out there looking for kind of a unique car. 2007 GTI Fahrenheit. Now it's not the 4-door, it's the 2-door, so it's a little short, stubby car. But it's that Fahrenheit orange color, and it's number 347. It is located in Rockland, California. I think the lady is asking $6,000. The bad, and I haven't gone in and looked at it, and I don't mean to ding the car, but it has more miles than this one does. I think it's up to like 170,000 miles, so ouch. But there was only 1,200 of those imported in the United States in 2007, 2008. So it is a somewhat of a rarity. They call a unicorn car, but it's 7 years older than this car, and it's got a hell of a lot of miles. This one, it just it came from San Jose, but it was driving all over the place. So now it's got a freshened up motor, good tight transmission. I did the tie rods. Got brand new tie rods on there. Steering, I did an alignment with the string and the little thing, but I probably need to go in and get it aligned. And the only reason for that is if you're doing about 70 miles an hour on the highway or more, you get that kind of wobble. I don't know if it's an off-balance tire. Anyway. Might leave that up to the potential future owner of this. But I'll tell you what, this little car turned out great. It's fun, it's sporty, it gets great gas mileage compared to my truck. The Mini over there is coming up for sale. I'll probably ask quite a bit for that because that I've done the right things to that car, and that thing is in mint condition. That car has been in this garage. Anyway, I'll talk about that one a little bit later. But thinking about a Volkswagen bus, maybe. If I can get this one sold, maybe that one over there. Get that new electric ID4 that's coming over to the U.S. next year. They're supposed to unveil it, I believe, in August. of 23 here. But yeah, just another shot at that hood. Turned out okay. I mean, like I said, I'm not a painter, but it's an okay. It's not gonna rust, okay? And it kind of blends into the rest of the car. So if somebody buys this, they put a good paint job on that, and maybe the wings up here, fix the curb rash on the tires. You got a brand new car here for pretty reasonable. I'm not sure what I'm gonna ask for it. I think they're going for, I think the one's 13-ish. They're going for, I believe, about 10 grand, roughly, depending on mileage, depending on what condition, how many odors. This has had one accident. It was less than $600, but it was over here in the front somewhere. And for the life of me, I didn't see anything that was wrong. So it probably, broke the front clip off of there and maybe a headlight or something. But that headlight is a Volkswagen headlight on the passenger side. But this one doesn't have the little W on the thing there. So anyway, there we go. And thanks for watching. Sorry for rambling on, but there is the up for sale video number 2013 GTI, and rock chip, not hurting anything. So okay, folks, take care.